Ah, my dear audience, what a rare privilege it is to stand before you tonight. Yes, you sitting there with those seemingly innocent eyes, imagining yourself untouchable. Yet here you are, drawn to the abyss, craving truths you've been too terrified to whisper, even in your own mind. Fear not. Tonight, I am your mirror, your guide, your silent accomplice. Together we will venture into a realm called truth, a truth so raw it will... Isn't it amusing? We spend our lives clutching at control, battling for dominance over our surroundings, our reputations, our enemies, our fragile little worlds. We erect walls, don masks, wage wars for power. But here's the punchline: control is never in the fortress you build, the blade you brandish, or the fists you throw. True power is far more insidious. It's not in what you wield, it's in what you leave behind. Your essence, your words, your actions, they're a virus. And this virus? It spreads. Let's talk about those you call enemies, shall we? The ones you believe stand against you. Enemies? Ha. They're nothing more than carriers, unwitting hosts to the infection you plant in their minds. The moment they cross your path, a spark of your essence embeds itself in their thoughts, burrowing deep, growing stronger. They might walk away, thinking they've left you behind. But in their quiet moments, you resurface. In their doubts, you whisper. And here's the brilliance: they don't even realize it. Have you noticed? The ones who despise you the most inevitably begin to mirror you. Their fury morphs into imitation. They adopt your methods, your strategies, even your flaws. They hate you so fiercely they can't help but become a shadow of you. Isn't it exquisite? Their resistance fuels the infection. Their loathing gives it life. Oh, don't sit there pretending you're innocent. Every glance you cast, every word you speak, every truth or lie you tell, it's a needle piercing their psyche. Most people? They're blank canvases, begging for someone like you to paint chaos on them. And you, my friend, are a master artist. Influence, true influence, is a masterpiece of subtlety. It doesn't matter if they love you or despise you, because either way, they're yours. Love ties them in loyalty, but hate is the raging inferno. The more they detest you, the more space you occupy in their minds. Their hatred becomes an obsession, a fire that consumes them. You linger in their nightmares, alter their decisions, and steer their plans. Without lifting a finger, you become the ghost haunting their every move. And here's the beauty: they don't even realize they're dancing to the strings you've attached to their souls. The angrier they get, the tighter those strings bind them. They fight you and they fail. They fight themselves and they crumble. Either way, you win. They don't understand that their downfall was written the moment they let you into their thoughts. Isn't it poetic? They become their own undoing, carrying the weight of a virus they can never shake. But here's the twist, the dark truth lurking in the shadows of this game: beware of your own infection. Power, intoxicating as it is a double-edged sword. The more you infect others, the more you risk being consumed by your own creation. You might forget where their destruction ends and your darkness begins. Perhaps that's the final play, isn't it? To let the infection devour all until there's nothing left of you but the echo of your shadow. So, my dear audience, as you step into the night, remember this: true power doesn't lie in crushing your enemies. It lies in making them destroy themselves. Whisper in their minds without speaking a word. Haunt their thoughts without lifting a hand. Spread your influence like a silent plague. The ultimate revenge isn't defeating your enemies, it's becoming the specter they can never escape. Now go. Carve your name into their memories. Or better yet, let your shadow do the carving. But we're not done yet, are we? No, because the story doesn't end when your shadow lingers, it begins. You see, the power you wield isn't just in becoming unforgettable. It's in transforming every interaction, every glance, every fleeting moment into a ripple that never dies. When they close their eyes at night, they won't see your face, they'll feel your presence. You won't just haunt their thoughts, you'll reconstruct their identity. You are not a person to them anymore, you are a force. Do you understand what that means? You are their gravity. Every step they take, every choice they make, whether in defiance or in mimicry, will orbit the essence you left behind. They'll tell themselves they're free of you, But freedom is an illusion when the virus has taken root. And here's where the gain gets even sweeter. They won't even know how much of themselves they've sacrificed to fight the ghost of you. Let me ask you, how do you think this ends? Do they win by forgetting you? No, because even in forgetting you shape them. Do they win by defeating you? Impossible, because their obsession has already consumed them. Their anger, their resistance, their very identity becomes the shadow you cast. They live to destroy you, and in doing so, they destroy themselves. Every battle they fight is against a mirror version of the infection you implanted. Isn't that the most exquisite form of victory? But don't get too comfortable. There's a deeper layer to this, a truth most are too blind to see. As you become their puppet master, as your influence threads through every fiber of their being, you must guard yourself. Power, no matter how masterfully wielded, always exacts a price. The question isn't whether they'll lose themselves to you, it's whether you'll lose yourself to your own creation. Will you become the infection, or will you remain the architect? And maybe, just maybe, that's the ultimate form of control. Not in dominating others, but in mastering yourself while watching them crumble. A perfect paradox, chaos with a leash, destruction with precision, a wildfire contained in the palm of your hand. So as you leave this room, don't just think of influence as a tool, it's your legacy. Make every word, every moment, every breath a virus that infects the world. Let them remember you not as a conqueror, but as the quiet storm they could never escape. Be the echo they can't silence, the specter they can't face, the force that rewrites the very fabric of their existence. And when they speak of you, let their voices tremble not with fear, but with the realization that they were never truly free. Now go and let the infection spread. But let me tell you something even darker, even sharper. The infection doesn't merely linger, it evolves. With every thought they give you, with every sleepless night spent unraveling your shadow, they amplify your presence. They think they're fighting you, resisting you, but in truth, they are architects of their own demise. Their obsession gives you permanence. Their hate keeps you alive. And here's the chilling reality: they will never outrun you. Because you're no longer just in their minds. You're in their decisions, their reflexes, their identity. Imagine this: every goal they chase, every enemy they make, every victory they celebrate, there's a trace of you in it all. The infection morphs into a legacy, an unshakable part of who they are. They'll try to move forward, try to rebuild themselves without your shadow looming over them. But it's futile. You don't need to haunt them anymore. You've become a part of their very foundation. The irony? The harder they try to erase you, the deeper your mark becomes. And now the virus begins to spread outward. Through their actions, through their words, through the very choices they make in your absence. They infect others with your essence. They become unwilling carriers, conduits of the chaos you ignited. You don't even have to be present. You've created ripples that extend far beyond your reach. This is the ultimate art of power, not just control, but immortality through influence. But heed this warning, for it is as vital as the breath you draw. The infection you spread is relentless. Yes, but so is its hunger. It demands more, always more. It will grow, it will consume, and if you are not vigilant, it will devour the one who wields it. Influence is a fire, and you must learn to tend it, not be engulfed by it. To master it, you must know when to let it burn and when to let it smolder in silence. So what will you do now? Will you let this power define you, or will you define the power? The choice, as always, is yours. But remember, this true dominance isn't just in the mark you leave on others. It's in how you remain unscathed by the very darkness you unleash. You are the storm, the architect, the unseen force rewriting the world around you. Go forth now, and let your legacy be not just remembered but felt. Be the shadow that whispers, the presence that lingers, the storm they never see coming. The infection is no longer just an idea, it is you. And in every corner of their world, your echo will remain, forever.